Hey guys, it's Jeannette, aka SweetJeann, and I'm here with an update video, or kind of like a catch-up video. It's been a few weeks since my last post. Let's see, the last time I spoke to you guys, I was in the hospital getting chemotherapy, and I was getting chemotherapy 2 times, well, 2 weeks at a time, and then the 3rd week off, then 2 weeks at a time and the 3rd week off. But my red blood cells, my platelets, and my white blood cells have been trending on the low end, to where it's like almost too low, where they don't want to do the chemo, or they want to skip the chemo, or they order blood transfusions, like 1 or 2 bags. So my doctor decided to, I'm sorry, I'm in a parking lot and there's a lot of cars passing by. So my doctor decided to change the rotation. Instead of 2 weeks on, 1 week off, she's doing it every other week, in hopes that, I don't know, that the chemo won't affect my body as much as having it twice in a row. So I get mine on Friday, and so it's every other Friday now that I get my chemo. And early on in August, I had a high glucose result, and so she was kind of worried, thinking that I could be diabetic. This happened to me back in January, where I had a really high spike, and it just so happened that I had drank 2 bottles of orange juice that morning, along with the biscuit and along with jelly. Grape jelly. So basically it was like sugar, carbs, and sugar. And so when they took my blood work, my glucose was really high. I mean, it was in the 400s. And so they were kind of like panicked because the number was so high. I explained to them what I had eaten, and so they said, okay, that's probably what it was. But that for me, that they're going to start looking after the glucose results every time I do my blood work or my labs, which I do every time I get chemo, prior to getting chemo. So anyhow, jump to that last month, August, I got another high reading. But the thing is that I had 2 tacos with flour tortilla, and flour tortilla has carbs, and I had an orange juice. And before I was in the room, I wasn't thinking, and I just drank it. And then as soon as I was drinking the last drink, I said, golly, I really hope this doesn't mess up my numbers. God, I should have just waited. But I was just so hungry that morning, and I wasn't thinking. It didn't dawn on me, since I didn't have a really high spike since January, and it's already been months. I mean, months and months. I mean, over half a year. So my glucose came back high, like it was 469 or something like that. So of course they have to notify my doctor with levels that are on the extreme high or the extreme low. So she gave me a shot of insulin. My doctor told them to give me a shot of insulin and to check my blood, I think an hour and a half after that. And so they gave me a shot of insulin, and it was coming down, but it didn't come down as fast as she liked. So I ended up having to skip that chemo, which I wasn't really happy about. I mean, nobody wants to get chemo, but the chemo is what's keeping me alive, because it's holding the cancer from spreading and growing. So even though it makes me sick, and it makes me feel bad, and it makes me sad, and it puts me in a depression when the symptoms kick in, I'm going through it, and so for her not to give me the chemo, even though it makes me sick, I don't want it, but I need it. So anyhow, so she skipped that chemo, and she suggested that I see a doctor, like a general practitioner, GP, so he could tell me whether or not I am diabetic. And I kept telling her I'm not. It's just that I had orange juice right before. And that's what happened. And I told her, remember in January when my number spiked, remember I told you it was, I had orange juice, and orange juice just is a shot of sugar, you know. And so she's like, well, I really think you're diabetic. And every time she would say it, I would interrupt her. I wouldn't let her finish the sentence. I would be like, no, I'm not. It's because I had orange juice. Well, we don't. I said, no, I'm not diabetic. It's because I drank the orange juice and I had the tacos right before they drew blood. So she was like, well, I still want you to see a general practitioner to give us a yes or a no, just to know for sure. If it's a no, then you have nothing to worry about, and if it's a yes, well, then we'll take it from there. She goes, I know you don't want to have cancer and go through it, and also on top of that be diabetic and go through that. So when she left, I just started crying. I hate getting upset, but I just started crying by myself because it's already an emotional roller coaster to have stage 4 advanced terminal breast cancer. That's already a lot weighing on me and weighing on my heart and on my soul and my body. Everything in me is being affected by that diagnosis, and the prognosis isn't good. It's stage 4 is the last stage, so it's a lot on me mentally. And so to be a diabetic on top of that, it's like, I have a tissue here. Anyhow, so I set up an appointment with the doctor, a GP, and he set up labs. So I went to go have labs, and then I went to go see him for the follow-up visit for the results a couple of weeks after that. This is all in August. I don't have my dates and all that available because this video was just impromptu. But anyhow, so I went for my results, and in my head I'm like, I'm not diabetic. My numbers may be a little bit high. Maybe I'm pre-diabetic, but I'm not diabetic. And so I went to go see him, and he had the lab work in front of him, and he said, okay, well, you're diabetic type 2. And my heart just sank. It sank. And I'm listening to him, and he's explaining to me all the general basics about my type of diabetes, which is the type 2. And then a few minutes, I didn't allow myself, my body just did it. I kind of ignored him. His words were like, I could barely hear his words. Like, I felt like I was in a tunnel and I was far away, like almost like I was gonna have an out-of-body experience, because it was something that I was sure I didn't have, and I definitely don't want it. Nobody wants it. But then I snapped back into reality, and I started paying attention and listening and asking questions, and this, that, and the other. So I had to just be like, okay, well, I'm diagnosed, so now I have to start taking medication. So he prescribed metformin. He ordered the glucose monitor with the lancets and the strips where you poke your finger and you test your blood. And so then he said that he was going to refer me to a specialist. I forgot what specialist it is. It's I don't know why I keep thinking endocrinologist, but I could be wrong. Diabetic doctor, because I'm on chemotherapy. So I'm a little bit different than his regular patients that just that don't have cancer. And so he wanted to send me to a specialist, so that way they're more used to, it's more common for them to treat patients that have cancer, because the medications can interact with each other in a wrong way. And so that's kind of out of his realm, the doctor that I saw. So he referred me to a specialist, and they don't have anything available till August the 8th, I believe. So in the meantime, he said, just pick up the metformin, take that every day. He prescribed vitamin D as well, to take 1 pill every Monday, or 1 pill every week, and I chose Monday. and then the monitor, so I picked that up as well. There's something in the air because my throat is a little scratchy and my eyes are still watery. Anyhow, so I went to the pharmacy, picked everything up, and you know, I just said I have to do it. You know, I just have to take care of myself. And I forgot to mention, when my doctor told me about the spike earlier in August, I cut out all sugars. I said, okay, I'm not gonna have any more sweets, and I'm a big sweet tooth person. I snack on sweets, well, sweets and savory, but mostly sweets. I mean, every so often my son gets me a Kit Kat or a Reese's peanut butter cup because he knows I love those. I mean, on my birthday, my sister gave me a little gift bag with a couple of things for me, and cotton candy, because she knows I love sweets. You know, like, I have a big, huge sweet tooth, so I basically quit sugar cold turkey. The only thing that I drink is water and diet soda with 0 sugar. And they're these little pouches with powder that you put in your water. And the one that I have, it's kind of like, tastes like Kool-Aid a little bit, but this one is not that brand. It's called Crush, and they have pineapple and strawberry, cherry, and grape. And my son pointed them out to me at the store, and it said sugar-free. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. Of course, they do sweeten it with other things because it does have a sweetness to it. It's not completely bland. But I went ahead and bought a couple of boxes, different flavors, just, you know, to switch it up a little bit, but mostly water. So I don't drink any sodas that are regular sodas. I don't drink tea. I cut out all, like, alcoholic drinks, cut out wine, which is like, sometimes I just want a glass of wine. You know, sometimes I just want an ice cold beer. Sometimes I just want a margarita, you know, but margaritas are sweet. Anyhow, so I cut out all sugars, like cold turkey. I am not kidding. No cake, no ice cream. Oh, there's these sugar-free fudge pops that I bought because sometimes I crave sugar, you know, sweets. So when I saw these in the refrigerator at my grocery store, it said sugar-free fudge pops and sugar-free the regular ice pops, tropical ice popsicle sticks. So I went ahead and bought that. So if I do, when I did get like a sweet tooth where I wanted to like break my little diet, you know, I had alternatives to eat to curb that sweet tooth that are sugar-free. So basically I've been sugar-free for over a month now, and the carbs, which I'm finding a little bit harder, which I love Italian food, and pasta is a carb, you know, so I can't have pasta. I can't have breadsticks. I can't have cheddar bay biscuits, you know, like I can't have all that. And so I was explaining that to my doctor. I'm like, God, I don't know how I'm going to do it because I'm a big pasta person and a bread person. And so he says, well, you can have bread, but it has to be whole grain wheat bread. And you can have pasta, but it has to be whole grain wheat pasta. So I'm like, okay, because I just know that those foods are not going to taste good. They're going to taste with no flavor, or they're going to be bland, or I'm not going to like it, or going to taste diet, you know? So I went ahead and bought whole wheat grain pasta, angel hair pasta, and noodles. And I made spaghetti with the whole wheat grain pasta, and it actually tasted pretty good. I was so happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, because this is one of the things that I really love to eat. Like when I go to an Italian restaurant, I usually eat spaghetti, or I'll eat ravioli, or I'll eat lasagna or chicken parmesan. But anyhow, so the chicken now has to be grilled. It can't be breaded. I can't have anything breaded because that's carbs. And so I've just found alternates that have satisfied me, and I haven't broken my diet, except I'm giving myself a small cheat date every other week, or every week on Friday or Saturday. I'll have, instead of having 2 wheat breads, if I want 3, I'll have 3. And he said I can have baked potato, but instead of eating the whole baked potato, eat half, he said, because it's portion control. So whenever I do get the opportunity, or it is one of my cheat dates, I'll have a baked potato. But that's why I think I'm doing so good with my new diet, my new lifestyle, is because I know that if I do a really good job, I'm working towards having that little cheat date, that cheat diet, that cheat food or whatever. So my number got as high as 469 early August, and with my diet and cutting back on carbs and sugars, I've been doing the glucose monitor every single day, and it fluctuated from 181 was the very first reading when I got the machine home from the pharmacy that night. I took my glucose reading. It was 181, I believe it was. And yesterday, and it's been going down slowly, and then a little bit of a rise, and then it goes down. So yesterday my reading was 102. So my doctor said basically like the range is from 80 to 120, but he gave me a goal of 100. So I was at 102 yesterday, but for whatever reason this morning my reading was at 120. So I need to really take note on the foods that I eat the day before, so I can figure out what causes my number to rise the next day, and take note of what I ate the previous day when I have a low number, so I know that those foods are good and that they're not going to affect my number too much. But I was so happy when I had 102. Like, I'm so proud of myself. And I've actually lost, I think it's been like 14 pounds. So that's a good silver lining to my diet, is that I'm actually losing some weight. So I'll take it. We'll see how good I do. I mean, I've been doing good. Ooh. Sorry guys, my camera cut out because it overheated, which happens a lot when I'm in my car, even though the AC is on. But anyway, so yeah, I've been diagnosed with diabetes. I'm taking care of it, and I'm doing pretty good. And my appointment with the specialist, I believe earlier I said August the 8th, but I meant October the 8th. So hopefully he's happy with how I'm doing and my numbers and my medication intake, etc., etc. Hopefully I don't have to get on any other medication, because it seems that the metformin is working. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That's what I've been up to. I do want to say that I don't know, I was going to mention the reason why, or maybe you guys haven't noticed, but I have been a little bit sad, a little bit upset, but I think I'm going to make a separate video on it, and just talk about my feelings, if that makes sense. I'm sorry to leave y'all on a cliffhanger, but it does have to do with my boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, but I don't think this is the video to do it. I was gonna add it here, but I don't think it's the right video to do it in. And then just how I'm doing socially, and talk about work or the lack thereof and things like that. So I guess I will catch you guys in the next video. If you're new and you like me, you like my personality, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification so you're notified with my next video. I don't upload that often. It's hard because I'm very fatigued with being on chemo now for over 4.5 years straight. It is just taking a toll on my body. And then when I do have chemo, which is every other week, my body goes through it. And so my intentions are to update you guys as often as I can, but usually that's once a month is what I'm finding, that I finally feel good enough to turn the camera on and record. But anyhow, and if you are an established, I would say established patient, if you are already subscribed, thank you so much for hanging in there and giving me all the love and support that you guys always show, and I appreciate it so very much. And also I did receive some happy mail in my PO box, so I will make a separate video with that. So 2 topics on the next video coming up, and I probably might even do it later on tonight or possibly tomorrow, because I finally put makeup on and I finally feel presentable to be on camera. So anyhow, thank you guys again for all your love and support, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.